but thankfully I am not no stupido like I was in my dry run. I actually did have to rely on some of this stuff when I dry ran this game for the Let's Play. Smack. It's almost like they tickle, Alex. No, 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 no. Come on. At least she's hitting in the 50s now.
Yes.
So she's getting somewhere.
All for Pete's sake.
Exactly. Really makes me wish that there was some kind of like a repel in this game. And for these dungeons especially, because this is going to take a while. Alright, well Amy gets to heal herself. There we go. So while we're making our walk, I actually did want to bring this up with Alex because this is something that I think we've talked about in previous parts, but just going over some of the details. So I believe we have talked about Nintendo's briefing and them basically having to tell their shareholders they suck.
Yes.
But I actually have gone into a little bit more detail on some of the things they've announced. I actually did find out that I spoke of bad in one of the previous parts.
Oops.
Where I thought that the mobile apps were going to be just ports of original games. They actually aren't. They're going to be doing their own unique properties. How does that make you feel, Alex?
I think that's a good idea. Nintendo could use some fresh ideas. You know, everybody loves their Marios and their Zeldas, but at the same time, it's not going to kill you to do a little originality.
And it's not like you can't do a Mario game or a Zelda game in an app and make it original.
Yeah.
Or not make it original. You can do it. One of the ideas that I actually heard going around the interwebs that I liked was doing a Star Fox game, but making it play like one of the original Gradius games, which I think would be absolutely hilarious, and I would play it. I would absolutely play it.
For those of us not familiar with Gradius, want to fill in?
Oh, yeah, like it's a classic shoot 'em up. So like, so with Star Fox 64, what you're used to is
the flight rails.
The flight rail, but in this case, it would be just kind of a side scroller. Your ship is on the left, and you're shooting everything in sight. Kind of thing. That's literally the coin shmup. Shoot 'em up. I think this is the one I want. First path going up, cool. And go left, and then down.
And then over.
And now I'm outside the temple. This is exactly where I need to be. And remember, guys, trees are solid objects in this game, so I can't go through them. I know it doesn't look like we have walls anymore, but we do. Thank you, level design. And then also, another thing I'd like to update is, for people who watched our Sonic Boom impressions, Alex found a little bit of information that I thought was awesome about the Sonic Boom video game. You want to fill people in?
Yeah, for those who are still in the not knowing territory, the studio that's developing Sonic Boom,
Red Button, I think.
Big Red Button. It's a brand new studio comprised of some ex-Naughty Dog employees.
And that actually made me fairly confident, because I like Naughty Dog.
Yes.
And for those who have followed us when we did the Jack and Daxter Let's Plays, I mean, obviously we do like them. They are kind of a rare of today.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that idea, that they decided to go that direction, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm kind of curious if it's going to be kind of a sole Big Red Button, or if it's going to be a cooperative with Sonic Team again. It wouldn't be the first time Sonic Team
I think they're going to have to be in some level of cooperation, because they don't own the assets. And so, if they do anything drastic, Sonic Team is going to have something to say about it.
Yeah, well, Sonic Team is a company, it's an arm of Sega, basically.
Well,
so.
and here's the thing to also consider. If they had a problem with their design, like, for example, we have the art now.
Mm-hmm.
If they had a problem, we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think it would be nice if it is a part co-op with Sonic Team because it will show me that Sonic Team can work with people besides Dims Corporation.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Okay, so this is where Goron gets a little weird. I think... Yeah. Sorry, guys, I have to make sure that I'm going the right direction. No! But yeah, the fact that you said that it was going to be a Naughty Dog run studio, or ex-Naughty Dog employees,
yeah.
I have no problem with that, because, look, Naughty Dog isn't really doing a whole lot. I mean, they did announce that we were going to get another Uncharted game for the PS4.
Very nice.
But, like, considering Jak and Daxter, they haven't really done anything with that property. Naughty Dog is also the company that developed Crash Bandicoot. We haven't seen anything from that in years. So if they want to do that, I mean, their most recent success is The Last of Us. So I don't have a problem with them doing as they please with Sonic Boom. If anything, they've proven they've gotten the chops to handle a big property like Sonic.
Mm-hmm. And what little gameplay we have seen, I'm encouraged. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
It looks like it could be a throwback to the old adventure games, which I've been waiting for forever.
Yeah. Oh, I took the wrong right turn.
Sackhoff.
Okay. It is our friend Sackhoff, the greatest wrestler ever made, period. Even though he looks a little like Piccolo. I think... Yeah, I can go back out this way. I actually needed to take it up right here. Excuse you?
I don't know. He's got electricity coming out of his hands.
He does, indeed. He is an illusionist, after all. I could make so many...
Hey, we gained a level.
I actually just realized I could have been making so many Dark Magician jokes here, and I have not. I failed the fans, I'm sorry.
The Dark Magician!
The Dark Magician!
Same more reason we gotta play Sonic 06. It's got plenty of Dan Green.
I don't know.
You don't want to hear... We gotta hear Dan Green ham it up.
There's so many problems with Sonic 06. I don't know if my sanity would actually survive it.
Dan Green, yeah.
If I got to make constant references to the Dark Magician or whatever, maybe, but no, I'm not saying that. The Crystal Chest. Okay, so this is where I need to go. But now we're going to go back to where we were, not the previous floor, but the area we were when we came up to this floor. Because this is going to be kind of a normal thing to do in Goron, is we're going to come across a lot of rooms that have an open pit, and 2 sets of stairwells, and one goes up, one goes down. So that's going to take a lot of the time out of Goron, thankfully. I know that just sounds so entertaining to you people, but, you know, this is Phantasy Star 2, alright? I can't change how it was made.
It's early RPGs, folks.
It's early JRPGs.
Yeah.
I love the fact that, you know, now JRPGs are being so vilified, and I just don't get it. You know, especially since, like, Ni no Kuni was apparently, like, the best RPG that came out last year. And it was a JRPG.
Yep.
I get the division between JRPGs and US-made RPGs, which is basically Square Enix and BioWare, but there's no difference between either of them. It's just the way they decide to tell a story. Oh, and almost at the pit there. Okay, so we're going up the stairs. And for the next 5 floors, we're going upstairs. So let's count them. 1, 2,
2.5,
3,
3,
4, and just because everybody saw this coming, 5!
You mean it's not 6?
Exactly. Alright, so now that we have this, let's go ahead and go left. No, now we actually have a floor here, Alex, so now we have to actually do dungeon crawling. I don't want to say dungeon crawler because then that makes people think of Diablo, or Torchlight, because those are actually being called either roguelikes or dungeon crawlers. Oh, and here's a new enemy.
Fire.
Fire is apparently an enemy now. But hey, I'm not complaining because in one of the Ultimate games, the floor was the enemy. I still love the Spoony joke of that. The floor! It's everywhere! For those who have not seen that, go look up the Spoony Experiment. Ultima, I think it was 3, where they made the joke. Ooh, ouch!
Packs a punch.
He does. And here's the thing. The fire enemy, like, most of its attacks
and I gained a level.
Are area of effect. So, if I start using MMO terms, stop me, Alex, because I will start using them.
Might as well use them. It's an RPG.
Let's see. And we're going to have her go ahead and use a Trimate. And I think what we're going to do is actually loop around... Yes, I think so. Because I think we got another Nei item. Oh, look, and 2 fires.
Mess.
Well, it's fire after all. You can't expect him to hit fire right off the bat. He melt his sword.
Good point.
AoE. Although you'd think with a wind attack or wind type magic, we would have just blown the fire out. Yeah.
Well, wind can spread fire too, so.
Indeed. So we actually could have multiplied things?
Oh.
That's so heartening, Alice.
I think that's something that would happen today.
Oh,
in
wow,
today's
RPGs.
RPGs.
Oh, totally would. Or in today's interpretation of JRPGs, yeah, it would. If it was BioWare, they'd find a way to make a conversation around it. Oh, one fire's dead, so... There we go. But they're given like 4,200 XP, so I'm not really complaining. Except when they attack me constantly.
More fire.
Fire hot! Sorry, the joke had to be made.
This fire and it is hot.
Oh, and so here's another thing I wanted to bring up with you, Alex, because I wanted to get your take on it.
Yeah. Since
we have had this conversation before in our vlogs. So, obviously, you know the news about Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Have you heard the Hunger Games news relating to him?
Yeah, I think I read a little bit about it, like how they're going to work around his death and...
Yeah, so basically, for those who don't know, he was like... He had completed all of the first part of the 3rd book. By the way, we'll have to discuss this at one point, making the last book into 2-parters.
Yeah.
And he had finished all the filming for part 1. However...
We got the Nei Cape.
We did. We got the Nei Cape, and I'm kind of happy it went to Amy because it's for her. So we're going to give it to her. But yeah, he had 7 days left on part 2. So what they're actually going to do is they're going to limit his appearance in the books, which a lot of people are actually disappointed about because, you know, I guess his character plays a bigger part in the 3rd book than it did in the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
The other way that they're going to do it is if he has to be there and he wasn't there for the filming, they're going to CG apply his face to an actor that looks similar to him and then do the singing.
Right.
Now, we've gone into this conversation with Orlando Bloom and Patrick Stewart. So I'm going to ask you your opinion after hearing what do you think of them implementing this?
If it works for them, I guess good on them, because it's probably a little too late to recast the part.
It is way too late, I think.
You know.
If he was 7 days out.
Yeah, you would have to completely shut production down and probably delay the movie by like another year.
Pretty much, and so I don't see a whole lot of advantage to doing that.
You know, CGI face replacement has been around for a very long time. It's not exactly a bad technology. It can work very well. You want to
if used properly.
Yes, if you want a pretty good example, the Social Network with the twins. The twins weren't played by actual twins. They're just played by 2 different people, but they CGI'd Armie Hammer's face onto the other guy.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, when I mock this tech being used, it's in the cases where it was used poorly. Like in the case of X-Men Origins, where they wanted Patrick Stewart, couldn't get him, and they decided to CG implement his face. And it looked horrible. Yeah. And I actually just got brought up to me by Aldo via my podcast that I didn't even realize this, but they actually kind of CG Robert Downey Jr. a couple of times in Iron Man 3. That I didn't know.
Wow.
Because you can't tell.
Yeah.
I even went back and just looked at the movie and said, no. I looked up actual images of the CG face. And aside from, a scar not being in the right place, it still looks like it. So, those are times when I would actually say, yeah, that's going to be great. That's a great idea. Alright, so now we're done. We got the Nei Cape, so we're off to the next floor. And as people might have noticed in that previous fight, we have to punish both Rudo and Rolf for missing as much as they did, and they literally interchanged who was missing and who was hitting. That was not the time to do that, guys. There was a dragon. Do you really not bring your A game when a dragon is out on the screen? But as you can see, a dark side is now toys to us, because they're not giving us any trouble at all.
Yep, as opposed to the scary threats they were before. Yay!
That doesn't mean that Mr. Death and the Shadow aren't difficult, but
another Max Dragon. Not to be confused with Max Power
or Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. White Lightning Attack! Yes, I can't do a Kaiba voice. I thought I covered this. I actually did what one of my friends said is, in order to do an impression of Kaiba, your emo must go off the charts. And since your emo can't go off the charts, you can't do Kaiba.
My emo strategy paid off.
Exactly. I actually countered with the joke of, oh, and you're not wearing enough belts on your outfit.
See, I can't do Eric Stewart, but I can do more Little Kariba's Kaiba.
Yes, screw the rules. I have green hair. Okay, so now instead,
which he actually did have green hair in Season 0.
He did. And then they decided to not do the anime trope of multiple colored hair.
Season 0 is weird, man.
It is. I actually have not watched much of it, and I'm kind of thankful. I've heard it will break my brain.
And surprisingly, it has less to do with card games, considering it's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Card games was added as a gimmick later.
It's mostly about Yami going around murdering people.
Well, the part that I actually like was somebody pointed me towards an article. The reason why they did the card game is apparently that people were complaining that the series was getting too dark, so you needed to add a card game to make it less dark, even though it was all based around the same dark concept.
Yes.
Yes, that makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it, guys? Alright, so now we're going upstairs, and unfortunately, like I said, the higher we go, the harder this gets. So, we're gonna have to play it real safe from here on. Okay. We're gonna go right to the wall, and then down to the bottom. Now, people might think there's actually a pit there. There is not. It's just supposed to be the wall. Okay, continue right. No! And this is how hard it gets, because now dragons are kind of a regular thing.
And balance swapped wrestlers.
Yes, the miso suit man. Quick, don't inform Rei Ayanami of this. Otherwise, she'd have to come up and promise to cook us all dinner, and then never, ever make good on that. Yes, for those who didn't know, I've actually seen Ava 1.1 and 2.2 now.
So and, now he's up to snuff.
I'm up to snuff, and now I look at Ava 3.0 and go, what the crap?
Perhaps that's what we should do our first commentary on, the rebuild movies.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yes, people, we're gonna branch into commentaries now. Because we clearly haven't deviated enough from our plans. Well, we're kidding, come on.
I wouldn't call it deviating. we're really just kind of expanding.
Yes.
Because that actually has come up as a question from some of the people who follow us, is, you know, are you just planning on doing Let's Plays? No, that was never the intention.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't want to branch, because obviously Alex does anime reviews, and I wanted to branch out into more stuff too. It's just that Let's Plays was kind of a common way to come together. And now we can come together on a bunch of other things, like episode commentary or whatever we want to do. The ideas are almost endless, Alex.
Endless.
Almost endless like this dark side.
At least it's one.
Oh, at least it's not like a shadow.
Yeah.
Because then I'd have to make like a dozen... only the shadow knows. Jokes. Thankfully, everybody's... We're doing okay, you know? I'm not trying to jinx us, but we're doing okay right now. Okay, I think we just go right all the way. No, the game will not let us. Because that was like 4 steps, and then we had another encounter.
Of course.
JRPGs. Horrible encounter rates. Ow.
Ooh.
Ow.
Ow. Amy and Rudo could use a little health though.
They're actually going to be just stepping out of the battle really quick to go heal. Because even though I have like a buttload of Trimates, guys...
You want to save them.
You don't want to use them all up. You want to keep them for when you actually need them. Because then you're going to be kicking yourself when you didn't use them. Ow. Yes, Amy, please heal. I think we're okay. We're just gonna go another round. And have Rudo heal himself. And then hopefully people are also enjoying our special holiday tribute to the month of February, where we decided to beat the living crap out of putties. It kind of goes against the purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We decided to share in... This is supposed to be like a month of love, and we decided to beat the crap out of people. I think that's actually supposed to be saying something about us, Alex. But we don't know what that means. We don't know what that's supposed to be saying. And actually, it's been kind of funny because since the first episode debuted, there were actually a couple of other questions that people were like, oh, you know, you guys could ask this, you know, what was the best of here. So I'm actually going to bring, like, a few of them over time. And what better way to start doing this since we're trying to get through this dungeon.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. He actually does have a single attack.
Oh.
It's not that much, but... Oh, and it just skipped through the round. Okay. So here's one, actually, that somebody did ask. Since we're going to put caveats on these anyway, and I'm going to go ahead and put it here. Favorite Power Ranger series, and here is the caveat. Can't be Zordon era. This has to be like your favorite post-Zordon era. So, Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo, and In Space, out.
Out. Damn.
Instantly.
Because In Space is like my favorite of the Zordon
Yeah, exactly,
era.
right?
Yes.
And Zeo's like my favorite. But, so, I guess that answers our pre-Zordon era.
I guess as far as post-Zordon era, I'd probably say Time Force.
See, I actually haven't seen Time Force.
You didn't see Time Force, huh?
I did not see it, but that's okay. Let's see. I think here... Yeah. Grab the Crystal Cape. And then we're just going to go and take the stairs going back up. Because, you know, this is creative, right? My favorite post-Zordon era, this is actually kind of tough, because... I almost want to say Dino Thunder because Tommy was in it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to. Ooh, I don't know. There's actually a couple of good series here and there that were done fairly well. I actually would probably say SPD, and I know the controversy that's going to bring us, because I actually didn't mind SPD that much. It was outlandish, and that's fine.
Ooh, Rolf could use a heal.
Yes, he could. So we're going to go ahead and take the next round. So yeah, I like SPD. I think it was fairly well done. I wished I would have come across it as a kid. I probably would have enjoyed it more if it was. And then obviously our favorite pre-Zordon era. Mine would be Power Ranger Zeo. And that's really because of the whole theme of the series, which was stronger than before.
Oh, the theme song, okay.
Yes. Well, no, I mean, the theme song just kind of co-opted with the theme of Zeo, which was better than before, upgraded, and then I'd almost have to say tied is In Space. In Space was done really, really well for me.
Yeah.